I like this title, What the Buddha Thought by Richard Gombrich. What the Buddha thought and not taught. Why do I like the title? That shows Buddha thinks, but why should that be an important thing? There is a view that enlightened people do not think but only see, only perceive. Many readers of J. Krishnamurti think that one should not think but only see, and thought has no role. I don't agree with them. Enlightenment may not be and is not outcome of thought, but it would be wrong to deny the role of thought in becoming enlightened or expressing enlightenment or in analyzing the society. Thought plays a very important role. If Buddha became what he became, it is not only because he was enlightened, but he thought so much, he knew so much. Otherwise, he would have had some um, state of bliss, and he would not have impacted the world the way he did. So, thought plays a very important role. What Gombrich does in this book is Buddhist thought or Buddha's thought was influenced by Brahminism. It means that not only Buddha impacted Hinduism, but also that Buddha learned from early part of Hinduism, also called Brahminism. So let us discuss this book. We are taking one chapter from this book. That is the antecedents of the karma doctrine in Brahminism. So the author here gives some kind of outline of karma doctrine. What is the outline here? Karma is very closely linked to the concept of rebirth. Okay. Author traces rebirth and then how it came to be linked with karma. So let us first ask, how did the concept of rebirth come? For this, he bases his argument from another book that is written by Gananath Obesekar. The title of the book was Imagining Karma. Gananath says that rebirth is there in many small societies. So, rebirth rebirth was not imagined by some people. Rebirth was there in many small societies. But why is it there in many small societies? I think it is because rebirth is, I believe, is an empirical fact. People were reporting now and then, I was this before, I lived there, now I am this. Children were remembering. So, and because, like in modern societies, the rebirth was not rejected, people accepted them. So, rebirth, I think, if it is universal, it is because it is empirically verifiable. And you know, during modern times, many did studies. For example, Evan Stevenson study gave many cases of children who remembered past lives. And Jim B. Tucker wrote one more book giving many cases of life before life. So, rebirth is an empirical fact. Rebirth is an empirical fact. That is why many small societies have that belief. So that is how issue of rebirth is settled. Rebirth is not Brahmin imagination. Rebirth was there in the concept was there in many small societies because the phenomena was there. That is one. Next, the issue of karma. Karma got related with rebirth. How? If rebirth was there, the question of how is one's parents decided? Why should one be born to one set of parents and not to the other? Became an issue. We can assume to whom one is born becomes an issue when the societies become complex. In simple societies which are egalitarian, to whom one is born is not a very big issue. But in complex societies where there are inequalities, so to whom one is born becomes an issue. You can be born as a son of a rich man, or can be born into a son of in the family of the poor. So, to whom one is born becomes an issue, and that got linked to good and bad and reward and punishment. So, got linked to morality, okay, which uh, the author discusses as ethicization. Ethicization. So, rebirth got ethicized, which means you are reborn in one particular family if you have done good things, reborn into a bad family if you have done bad things, and also means before rebirth, where were you? So, with before ethicization, all would be at one place after death, but after ethicization, there would be heaven and hell. He says there can be no longer a single place for those who have done good and those who have done bad. There must be heaven and hell. So, Gananath says heaven and hell came after ethicization of rebirth. In certain religions and in complex societies. So, subtitle of his book is Ethical Transformation in Amerindian, Buddhist and Greek Rebirth. So, karma theory is nothing but ethicization of an empirical fact, that is rebirth. If this is agreeable, the next step would only be tracing the kind of ethicization. Which means after death, what is happening? And Gombrich traces these concepts to early Upanishads. In Bahraranyaka Upanishads. Okay. This is one of the oldest. There is one hymn, Pankagni Vidya, that says there are three destinations at death: to go to sun and not reborn, to go to moon and reborn, and third category doesn't give many specifics, but they are reborn too. Which means different things are happening to the people after death. There are three roads. And the hymn says that some are not reborn, and it is assumed to be a good thing. So, this is the beginning of destination differences after death, and some are not reborn. So, this is related to karma, good action and bad action, and the consequences, which means what you do in this life influences what happens after death plus rebirth. your action influencing what happens after death. That is the other world. And then this world. That is what one of the earliest Upanishads says. Okay. So linking karma with what happens after death. This is what is called ethicization. And next development is this ethicization got linked to social order. Chandogya Upanishads. Ethicization got linked to social order. People whose behavior here is pleasant can expect to enter a pleasant womb. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya class. People of foul behavior can expect to enter a foul womb, like that of a dog, pig, or an outcast woman. So one can be born into a lower animal, one can be born into an outcast family. So rebirth got ethicized, and ethicization was linked to social order. And this took place at a very early stage by Chandogya Upanishad. So these are how karma, rebirth, caste interlinked. Okay, so this is about the social system. Now, where does Buddha fit in here? Was Buddha helped by this kind of thinking? Number one, Buddha did not have to know that there would be rebirth. Rebirth was an accepted idea at that time. Buddha did not have to think about karma. Karma already got linked with rebirth. Okay. So the concept of karma was there before Buddha. So Buddha, if he differs only in terms of how karma operates, but karma was there before. So rebirth was there, karma was there, and these were not questioned at all. Okay. Next, very, very important step. We know Buddha got enlightenment, and the central thing about enlightenment was desirelessness. Okay. And one more thing, the idea that there need not be rebirth was also pre-Buddhist. So let me summarize. Rebirth, pre-Buddhist. Karma, pre-Buddhist. And karma included escaping the cycle of birth and rebirth, was also there before. and glorification of such a thing of escaping rebirth was also there. Now, interesting question would be, was there any mention of desirelessness and escaping rebirth? That is to ask, was there any proposal that some people would escape rebirth if they did not have desire? If those ideas also were there before Buddha, it means Buddha had so many clues on nirvana. And they were there. This is BAU 446. Yajnavalkya says, a man who is attached A man who is attached goes with his action to that very place to which his mind and character cling, reaching the end of his action of whatever he has done. From that world he returns. Yajnavalkya was saying that man is born because of attachment. To a place where his mind and character cling. So, Yajnavalkya understood, or the author of this Upanishad understood, that if one is born, it is because of the attachment and desire. And if the desire is not there, one is not born. So when they are all banished, those desires lurking in one's heart, then a mortal becomes immortal and attains Brahman in this world. So, what all Buddha knew? This Upanishad was one of the oldest and pre-Buddhist, and Buddha knew. So, what all Buddha had? Rebirth, karma, and the possibility of escape from the cycle of birth and rebirth, which means human beings can be fundamentally transformed, and that transformation is linked to the structure of desire. Then it is all about realizing that state, which Buddha realized. So, there was so much in Brahminism that Buddha was inspired by. You can say that Buddha had a hypothesis of nirvana. he had an idea of nirvana before he got it, because he was an extremely well-read person. And after getting enlightenment, he reworked this entire theory and gave or blasted it. But before blasting it, remember, he took so much from it. Without Brahminism, Buddha would not have been a possibility. Thank you.